Beyond the Veil with Adina, and happy Monday. Happy day of the moon to all of you viewers who are watching me. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me on this day of the moon. My name is Adina, and you all are Beyond the Veil with Adina. If this is your first time around here and you're not sure what we do around here and who I am your resident hostess as well as your resident medium, oracle, sibyl, reader, prophetess, priestess, psychic, whatever you feel comfortable calling people like me. And we do readings and necromancy and divinations and things like that. And so, if that's not your thing, then I invite you to leave peacefully so that you do not disturb or disrespect my community or me. And if that is your thing, I welcome you to make yourself comfortable and enjoy the show, I suppose. To all of my regular return viewers, subscribers, busted babies, OG channel watchers, bush watchers, haters, lovers, cats, dogs, whatever. Welcome to Beyond the Veil. I'm happy to see you again. And happy Monday, happy day of the moon to all of you beautiful people out there. Even though I can't see you all, something in the air tells me that you guys are a beautiful bunch, and I'm honored to be in your presence. Good evening, Sissy. Good evening, Sandra. How are you ladies doing this Monday? Please, everybody else, as you come in, let me know how you're doing because I genuinely would like to know. Hello to you. My name's Adina. What's your name? And how are you doing this Monday? Hello, Liv, my darling, over in the UK. How are you? Hi, Mari. I'm so happy to see you in here. How are you doing? I knew I smelled a beautiful person in the midst. Mama for Keats. Everybody's so beautiful in here. Hello. Look at everybody. The joy spreading over my heart. You're happy to see me, Tiara? That makes me actually want to cry. If it wasn't so chilly outside, then I would have tears. But I spoke too soon yesterday when Sissy over in New York was saying you guys were snowed in, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry because it's winter. I mean, it's summer here in Florida. It's so hot. And I woke up this morning to go to the gym and I stepped back in to not go to the gym. I said, the fuck not. It was a freeze warning. It was 30 something degrees and it was summer yesterday. And so I was like, ugh, that brisk chill. I stepped out and stepped right back in. I was pumped up and then I was pumped right back down. That's exactly how that went. So I skipped the gym and I might skip it tomorrow if the weather is doing whatever it did today. Because I don't care how bundled up I can get just to make it to the gym. That cold, crisp air hits my bones. And in a coat alive that can save me, I need warmth. So I feel your pain too, sissy. Maybe not the way New York is feeling it, but for a Florida girl, it's painful, especially when it was just summertime yesterday. Okay, you guys got Sunday dinner going. Did I get the news of what happened in Mexico? I did, Sandra. And I was actually going to do El Muncho. That was the cartel leader for this Necromancy Monday. But I decided to save that for current events Wednesday, and I like to honor the days that I set aside for certain things. So even though he's dead, that's still current events ish. So I didn't want to dedicate a Necromancy Monday to a current event. So I'll discuss that on Wednesday. The Mexico cartel situation, I'll talk about that on Wednesday. Today, though, my heart is on something else. Now, I've done a reading on Jeffrey Epstein, and it was my belief at the time that he was not unalived the way they said he was. Nevertheless, my heart is on The children. You know, everybody made such a big deal about the Epstein files and release them, release them. Trump's in them, Jay-Z's in them, this person's in them, this person's in them. But what I didn't notice, because you guys were put on a hamster wheel and given something to salivate over, nobody ever stopped to say, wait a second, we're talking about institutional, it seems, because a lot of people attached to our societal institutions were integral to those Epstein files, but I didn't hear too many mainstream people or anybody that was salivating over the tea. That's what you guys enjoyed, the tea. Lost a family pet this morning. Oh, Mari, I'm so sorry. Oh, y'all gonna have the funeral? Who gonna do the body? Oh, I'm so sorry. Rest in peace to Midas. Everybody shout out to the dearly departed busted baby pet, Midas. We got a new pet yesterday. One of the busted babies got a new dog yesterday, and today we lost one. Rest beautifully, Midas. May you come back the king of all dog kings. May you come back a lion. He was cremated. Oh, I'm so sorry to you and the children. Oh, y'all ate? Y'all had the after the repast? Y'all ate or something? I cooked. So if y'all hungry, y'all more than welcome over here to eat. You know, I'm so sorry. Just taking them so soon. So shout out to Midas. You brought so much comfort to Mari and her family. You saw Mari through some traumatizing times, some tough times. Midas helped Mari beat cancer. And so Midas said, I stuck around long enough for that. And now, now my job here is done. I'm tired. And that's okay, Mari. You serve Midas. You serve Mama Mari and the family well. You helped her, live. And then you said, now that she in the clear, I'm going to go and take a nap. So shout out to Midas. This for Midas. You're welcome, Mari. We honor all the busted babies around here, including the furry ones. So, in all of the hoopla about the Epstein files, and people just wanted to manja, 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 tea, manja. Who's, and nobody stopped to say, wait a second. We are talking about institutionalized child trafficking, so they say. Not human trafficking, which is bad enough, but at least an adult can fight back, bite back, scratch back, anything back a little bit better than a child. Nobody stopped to say, wait a second, all of these are really powerful people and they're all involved or alleged to be involved in child trafficking. This is too much power, too much institutional power. We need to take a step back and figure out, wait a second, what is the interest in the children? Where are they getting these children from? How come their parents aren't reporting them missing? Where are all the, those are questions that I would ask, because I did over a decade ago when these Epstein files first came across my attention. But I want to draw at least my platform's attention to the children. Now that everybody is drunk off of the tea, do you guys want to take a look into how something like this can exist? Does it still exist? Since the big bag boogeyman Epstein is now out of the way, that means that's all done. Children are safe, right? Does it still exist? Are children still being trafficked? If so, from where? From whom? How? Where are they going? What happens to them? Why are they being trafficked? Who wants them? Why do they want them? Why don't we hear a major outcry from their parents? Are their parents victims? And so, whether Epstein is alive or not, I decided to do this Necromancy Monday with him because the people said he's unalived. So let's just pretend. And whether he is or he isn't, I can call up the living, I can call up the unliving. So we'll talk to him either way. You guys ready? You guys want to go on a trip? Okay. Those of you who do want to ride, hop in, buckle up, because you know the laws be lurking and we don't want to give them no reason to pull us over. Hmm. You guys know this is on my heart, right? To do this, right? I've heard of Mr. Beast. He's supposed to be like the most popular or lucrative YouTuber. He came to Ghana to build 10 schools in the villages. You are absolutely right to have your eyes on that. Don't trust it, in my opinion. No, yeah, that's my opinion. Don't trust him. Don't trust him. Mr. Beast, I wouldn't trust anybody named Mr. Beast, especially a Caucasian man named Mr. Beast coming to Africa. Like the missions, all like in the vein of his, listen, rinse, wash, and repeat. They don't need your education. They said that they are reinstituting their cultural education, their cultural tongue. Welcome back, Zach. So they don't need a white man coming to build schools when Africa is saying, we got it from here. We will be teaching in our languages. We will be kicking all of France, the US, and all the colonizers out. So they don't need your help, beastie boy. But you know that money that you just took to the motherland, didn't they say that money was being taken out of the Department of Education right here in the United States of America? Is that where you from? Is that where you live? Anyways, that's another beast. But you're absolutely right to not trust it. Yeah, you keep me updated on that one in case I need to bring him up. In fact, I may put him on the Wednesday or the Friday lineup so we can see exactly what he's doing. No need to be suspicious. We can check him out. All right. Hey, Mrs. Zach. It's me, Dina, your new friend. Mrs. Zach is looking for new homegirls, looking for new, really fun, supportive women because she's looking for a community, a village of support. And so, hello from the village mother, new friend. You have a home here? Okay. All right. Let us discuss the children, shall we? Zach, I was almost nervous you wouldn't come back around here. But here you are. Okay. This should be interesting. Most High Mother and Father God, thank you for this day of the moon. 'Tis Papa Legba's Day. 2 weeks from today, we will be doing a community or group blockbuster slash road opener that is to proceed or open the way for our spring equinox crown of success on the spring equinox Friday, March 20th. The people and myself said we need a blockbuster slash road opener to make sure that we inherit all that we are supposed to inherit with the crown of success, and we don't need anything or anyone standing in our way. So shout out to that, Beyond the Veil, Adina at gmail.com, if you would like to participate in any of those ceremonies. And if you have questions about them, please go up a few lives to the one, I think it was last Friday, when I announced the Crown of Success, and the video will be titled Crown of Success. So all the information for that is there, as well as the blockbuster. All right. Spirit, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Jeffrey Epstein. The first time I read him, I was corrected on how they pronounce his name. You know, that's a Jewish name. So they were very much particular with making sure I didn't say Epstein, but Epstein. So if you guys hear me say Epstein, that is why. Because the first time I read him, his ancestors or whomever said, "Excuse me, it is Epstein." I was like, okay, fine. Stein, tomato, tomato, whatever. Hey, JD. Hey, Terry. Ain't nobody in here getting freaky but your weird ass. I used to be married to a freaky ass Terry. So let me block you before you get out of hand in here, because I know how y'all do. I used to be married to a munch named Terry. Ain't nobody in here freaky but y'all. We talk about kids. Yes, Freaky Terry. We trying to talk about kids. Don't come in here with that, because I know exactly what type of time you Freaky Terrys be on. Save that for Friday. Nice pair of what, Sly Dog? These? Get you up out of here. You mean D's, double D's? Okay. Boy, I mentioned Epstein and all the weirdos come out. Boy, talk about the black market cabal. Y'all in here deep, ain't it? Ain't it? Boy, y'all supposed to be laying low, cause the feds be lurking. Oh, oh, oh. I said, let me conjure up, and then here y'all go. I'm not talking about you, Zach. Zach, if you're going to be a member around here, a regular around here, you have to know how to duck when I start shooting. Okay? Everybody else that's a regular around here knows to bob and weave. Bob and weave. When I pull out my sniper rifle, everybody else in here is like this, and you the only one like, what? What? What's going on? Do like everybody else does. And duck and bob. Duck and bob. You better learn the matrix if you ain't got good knees around here. If it don't apply, let them fly, because I'm going to shoot them. All right. Please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Jeffrey Epstein. My spirits chuckle. And I believe that we're... Spirits, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Jeffrey Epstein. Ooh, this batch of Florida water is very citrusy. The spirit of orange compels this bottle. Ooh, very, very citrusy, but I needed that. I needed it to clear my mind, bring the sun in. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein. Your name is hot on everyone's list, so your energy might not be far off. It should not be far off from wherever this man resides in the worlds or the realms of the living or unliving. Please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Jeffrey Epstein. 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 Is he in Israel? Ah, methinks this one is in Israel. Methinks this one is in Israel. Not with the maggots. Methinks that's the rumor? I didn't know that. That's the rumor, huh? Hmm. Hmm. Thank you, Jeffrey. This one comes to me alive and well. I see linen pants, a cotton or linen shirt, light colored. I see, I don't know what those shoes are called, but I would call them like boat shoes because my ex-husband, Freaky Terry, used to wear those shoes on a boat, and his dad used to wear those shoes on the boat, and the other white men I saw on their boats had them. I don't know what kind of shoes those are, but they're like rich man shoes. And no, my ex-husband wasn't rich, but you couldn't tell him and his daddy that they weren't well on the way. Yeah, this one doesn't seem in any duress either. Walks right up. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein. This one is in Israel. I didn't know that was a rumor. Apparently, him and Maxine, huh? I read her already. But yes, child, them people probably never saw light of a saw the darkness of a cell. They put them in the cell, told them to say cheese for their mug shot, and walked them right to the private jet. Anyways, Jeffrey Epstein. Why? Talk to me about the business that you were in. The word is child trafficking, child trafficking, child trafficking. Was it really heavily trafficking of children that you were involved in? If so, why? If so, for whom? For what reasons? Where did they come from? Where did they go? Because they sure didn't just walk back home into their schools after being missing. What of their parents? Why children? What else were you into? Because some of those other messages alluded to other black market activity, snuff films. Hmm. Start with the children, Jeffrey Epstein. Spirit, compel Jeffrey to speak to me from his spirit and his soul's truth, keeping absolutely nothing hidden from me. Does not matter who he prays to, does not matter who he sacrifices to. Every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess. Compel him to speak his soul's truth to me. Rather, he forbids it, rather, he detests it, rather, he bites on his tongue and spits it out. Make him speak. Make him and his friends speak. Make them all speak. Put a fire underneath their tongues and make them speak even when they're trying to be silent. Make them tell on themselves. Jeffrey, talk to me about the business of trafficking children. Talk to me about the business of trafficking children. And since you allegedly were taken out of the game, has it stopped since then, the business of trafficking children? We shall not peek inside of his mind, JD. His mind will lie. I'm stripping him naked and reading him from his loins. They don't lie. When you gotta pee, you gotta pee. When you gotta poop, you gotta poop. The loins don't lie. Presently, the business is still the business, in my opinion. What did I tell you guys the other day? This is my trafficking ring, international ring card surrounding some sort of human. This is in the present position. So presently, business as usual, in my opinion, is what this means. Right under everyone's noses. You guys are worried about the Epstein files when business has evolved since then. Since Epstein. If anything, Epstein needed to be retired. Epstein needed to retire. But he knew everybody wasn't going to let him retire because he was the known maestro of it. So the only way everybody can get the picture that he's retired is if they pretend like he's completely out. And that's probably not what really happened, but that's my little jokey joke. First of all, Epstein is not trafficking. He's not the face of it. He's become the face of it for the sheep. Very much outdated. Very much, which is why we can have it now. Some people are really, truly freaked out. It's beyond that. There's always a science to it. I'm here to get down to the science. It's not the sex. It's not any of that. So it's still intact. Very much so, in my opinion. It's actually right up under everyone's noses. It's all a matter of where you're looking. Literally, it's like people are looking this way, but if you just turn your head, there you'll have it. Challenge. Challenge will always be how they will be exported. These are merchants. So, in my opinion, there are businesses and corporate entities that look like businesses, but they are responsible for transporting, in my opinion, right now, ships. You see those? Those are ships. This is a merchant, a business person expecting shipments to come in and sending shipments out. This could be considered a dock. CPS ain't lost shit, in my opinion. CPS is, listen, we've been here before. Were you guys here, JD? I don't know how far back on my readings you guys went, but again, it's the reading that I was doing early on my channel, and it was about the young girl in Buffalo that went missing, the young black girl from Buffalo University. They say she jumped off of Niagara Falls, but a friend of her family asked me to look into it. And when I did, I just mentioned this the other day, it led to me realizing, first of all, that I should charge more for what I do. Secondly, after supplying information to the officers involved, in the middle of giving them information, I saw them and then I stopped. I absolutely pulled back because of what I saw. And I saw that I could not trust the very same people that I was asked to give information to. And then I started getting threatened. And then this lady contacted me, and I think I shared this with my members, and I won't go down everything that happened because I don't want to rehash that situation. And I don't know what became of that lady, but she contacted me because her and her son, who was she had, I think he was gay or trans or something like that. And she had younger children, but she was married to a, this is what this woman told me, that she was married to a Buffalo Police Department officer, and he was high ranking. And in their community, in the neighborhood that they live in, it's all police officers and law enforcement. And she said they get together and they have secret, I'm going to say, meetings. And she said, I left my husband because of this, but that's when he started harassing me and terrorizing me and using his power with the law to harass me. She says, we have two younger kids together outside of the one son I have older, and he's taking custody of them. She says that is how he keeps his eye on me because of the kids. She sent me she told me about an attempt on her life, and then she sent me the article about it, the news article. And she explained to me about what they said happened and what really happened to her. And this lady was terrified. And I'm not going to say everything else she told me, but she told me a lot of things that at the time had me shooketh. And it scared me because of the messages and random emails that I was getting that were threatening, and that I would have to send copies of to my friend because I was like, listen, I ain't mean to get this deep. Somebody asked, listen, they asked me to help out and look into this. But I saw this. That's the situation at hand that I saw with the girl from Buffalo, New York. And the lady who contacted me was trying to tell me that what I saw, I did. I stumbled upon something, but I was meant to, because the person asked me to read a missing person, but that missing person ended up being this. And they tried to say that young lady jumped off of Niagara Falls, and they said she was practically a genius. Genius. Black girl, 19. And her parents, actually, I ain't gonna say too much on them. I'm gonna just say the same thing for them that I saw when I read Kanika Jenkins and Her Mother. Okay? Sometimes it's safer and easier if if you just like a regular hood person and you end up in a situation like this, you might just shut up. You might just take the money and shut up and mourn your baby. That lady that was contacting me because she wanted to give me more information on what I saw concerning this girl because of her involvement, her alleged involvement with that police department in that town. She was terrified, actually. Her and her oldest son, who was gay, was terrified. Her son got on the phone with me because he was 16 or 17, and he got on the phone with me to back up his mother's story and to tell me about the time that they tried to snatch him. And they begged me and they begged me and they begged me to continue to shed light on what I saw going on with that young girl and with what she was telling me, because she felt like her life might have depended on it. I've talked to hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people in my line of work, and some people, yes, I have absolutely saw crazy people. I have I have had crazy people. This lady though, I didn't get crazy from her. In fact, I was afraid speaking to her, because at the time I wasn't new to this line of work, but I was new to doing it on YouTube. So I didn't expect anything to come out of that other than me just randomly popping up on YouTube, doing a video here and now. And that's it. I was focused on real estate. But that just came up. And I was just like, hold on now. Hold on. I just came here to help a friend and that's it. Mm-mm. But based on what I saw and the way they kept threatening me, the way they kept harassing me and threatening me, my Aries stellium was like, okay, all right, let's go. The fuck? Fuck y'all thought this was? And based on what I saw, I I said, no, 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 no. I see the tentacles of this spread all throughout this society. And ever since then, I've had my foot slightly. I let up because I know the feds be lurking. And after that experience, I do my oracle business, but I'm also very watchful of the energy surrounding what I say and do here, because of that one time. And all you need is one time to be on somebody's radar, nevertheless. The challenge is shipping. These are ships. So I don't believe that these children are being transported vis-a-vis plane, largely plane, train, or any other mode of transportation. Largely, my opinion is that they're being shipped. And the issue with that is that would mean that they're going various overseas locations. Both of these are travel cards. Travel, traffic. So if they are coming from here, they're being exported from the US. We're not bringing them in. We are exporting, in my opinion. Just my silly little opinion. Which is interesting, concerning, because if that is an export of ours, what exactly is the use for these American children in foreign lands? Don't grown women usually go to the foreign countries to trick and do all kinds of whorish activities for a coin, for a little 10 stacks, a little 20 stacks here? But you hoes aren't even in commodity compared to. See, I appreciate you hoes for that, because for every one of y'all who go over there to get peed on for 2 hours, that's 2 hours that a child might get a break. So kudos to you hoes. May you continue to go over there and give those babies a break, allegedly. Y'all just be over there right where they be having the babies, and y'all worried about trinkets and stuff. Y'all should be over there playing dumb and recording. And I know y'all can't take y'all phones on them yachts and shit, but y'all need to be wearing medical. Like, do something better with yourselves. Dubai and other places too. I'm not even serious about this part. I'm just talking shit right now. But if y'all gonna go over there with the sheiks to get shat on, then save the children while you at it. Collect your coin and come back and drop a dime or something. Past position. This would be the United States government, in my opinion. Oh dear. Because we're talking about trafficking, and I didn't say where. I didn't say trafficking in the US. I said Epstein talked to me about trafficking. And he says, sure, the business is still intact. The only issue we ever really have is shipment, safe shipment, unseen, unfound, things like that. Now, in my opinion, the U.S. government is in the past position and in reversed. And that's because the U.S. government is the one who went after Epstein. In reverse, though, in my opinion, and then this is them saying that he was dead because those are crows. But that's just a message they put out because crows are messengers, amongst other things. In reverse, though, this gives me, in my opinion, just saying what this makes me feel as a psychic lady, shadow America. In reverse, the shadow America, the black shadow, black market version of America. There's an upright America that we exist in, and then there's another America that they exist in, and it's very much as real and normal as the one we exist in, a parallel American universe, in my opinion. In my opinion, when it comes to child trafficking, in my opinion, this land is your land was the land that has been known for this type of trafficking, in my opinion. All sugar babies don't get peed on and stuff like that. JD, if you want to be a sugar baby, book a consultation and we'll map it out for you. I know a couple, and I don't know if they getting peed and stuff on. They don't sound like it when they talk to me. They don't tell me that's what they doing, but they might be. I don't know, but they don't sound sad about it. I don't. It never comes up. Sugar babies don't get peed on, honey. That's hoes get peed on. I think hoes get peed on. Sugar babies is supposed to be above the hoes, but maybe all of them is getting peed on today. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, JD, but we can work that out for you. And we can do a vixen ceremony. Ain't nobody gonna disrespect you if all them hoes came to see me for a vixen ceremony. Nobody be getting shitted on but the tricks. For real. Yep. I got a client right now making a trick risk. And y'all seen her. Y'all seen what she said in the membership live. What she said, that client, what she said, that man said. Exactly what I told him he would do when I fixed him for her. Risk it all if she says so. Fuck y'all. Fuck you mean, JD. What you scared for? I thought you was the lamb. You supposed to know that woo is a lifestyle. We don't walk in fear. Future. What is this? This is defense or something, but you guys know I heard a rumor on Instagram that some port workers were going on strike because they heard screaming in shipping containers and they tried to report it to their bosses, and their bosses allegedly said, or allegedly the police, then the FBI and the CIA and everybody allegedly was alerted, but nothing came of the situation. So they said the workers went on strike. Now that's just a regular random video I saw on Instagram. It could have easily been AI or satire or whatever. It could have been fake. I'm gonna go to Google because if you Google port workers strike because of screaming in cargo, then it will show you the links to all the videos on social media going around. It says that it's a rumor, misinformation, or social media speculation. The actual for the reason for the strike, it says to have, because there is a strike going on currently from port workers. Actual reasons for the strike, which was initiated by the International Longshoremen's Association, was driven by a dispute over a new 6-year contract, specifically demanding a significant wage increase, reported to be roughly 61 to 77% over 6 years. Approximately 45,000 to 50,000 dock workers participated, shutting down 36 ports from Maine to Texas. This was in 2024. The strike was suspended in 2024 after a tentative agreement was reached, with workers returning to their jobs while negotiations continued. I don't think this is a strike in the near future, although it might be. And if this is the strike, then it is not for what they're saying it is, but they said that strike was suspended. This in the near future, though, I'll have to clarify that Nine of Wands in reverse. There's a platform here, but I don't see water, so that doesn't give me shipping dock. Okay. Crowning the situation, Four of Pentacles. Allegedly, the person who they said is the big bad guy of child trafficking, they contained him. So this is Epstein. Also, speaking of containers, in my opinion, most of these children have been kidnapped or confined. So I don't know if these are children that have been round up due to immigration or any of those things that began with the Obama administration and are currently going on, because ICE was doing the same thing in the Obama administration, just not as aggressive and loud, a little bit more cutesy and demure, because y'all needed to two-step with your forever president and make sure he shot hoops with LeBron and gave googly eyes at the dance party with Beyonce and gave y'all his playlist every summer and made the ladies swoon. But meanwhile, there were things going on that time that I very much remembered. In my opinion, these children are being taken from various places, from their communities. Nine of Swords. This is a legal taking, though. This isn't an illegal taking. DCF, maybe. Hospitals, maybe. Daycare centers, maybe. Legal institutions, in my opinion, ingrained into society. This is very, 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 very sad to me. This tells me that where these children go, they are being treated very cruel. Even before they go, these children are being treated inhumane, to say the least, in my opinion. Cruelty unimaginable. This is an old practice, though. These are old practices being done to these kids, and they're cultural to the people who do them. Traditional, not cultural, traditional. These aren't really kinks there are kinks involved, but there's something else about these in the kinks, but the tradition around them. I suppose rituals, so to say. It's not just pleasure based. Pleasure and pain need to go together in order to bring out a certain biological, chemical, or reaction. Orgasm is said to be the little death. Both orgasm and trauma bring you on the brink. Adrenochrome, is that released at those states? Possibly. There's a chemical that I was talking about that's released, it's extracted. Some of this is blood, but there's something else that they harness. How can we save them? Hopes and fears. Now, the hope is this chemical. The fear is not having access to it. This looks like vampires. These people are vampires. These people are vampires. These children are being fed to people who need life force to sustain them. They're vampires. Let me tell you guys, there's a hierarchy to the black market, but when I close my eyes and even when I open them, at the very tippy top of the triangle, I see vampires, very pale, bald, bony fingered people in castles, like the cousins of the Brits, the royal monarchs in Britons. They have cousins over there in Transylvania, I believe, and other places that are vampire-ish. At the top of the black market is vampires, in my opinion. Old and secluded. They can't even really be exposed to the sun that much. The sun will kill them. God is always, the creator is always prepared to take them out. So they stay in their dark, 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 dark castles over there where it's cold, wet, dreary, ancient castles. They smell horrible in those places. These aren't people, these are creatures. These are not human beings. Look at Prince Andrew. Like I just said, those British monarchs are said to be cousins of those Transylvanian monarchs, the vampires. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. And did not Prince Andrew just get arrested? Vampires. Remember what I said yesterday in my reading about the future of the monarchs and how they're dying out? Transylvanian cousin of the British. King Charles III has a well-documented connection to Transylvania, claiming to be a descendant of the 15th century Romanian ruler Vlad the Impaler, who inspired the Dracula legend. Through his great grandmother, Queen Mary, Charles is a 16th great grandson of Vlad, giving him a direct ancestral link to the region which he frequently visits and champions. Oracle's eyes don't lie. Vampires. Vampires. Let me give you a picture of them. Ay, Dio mio. Now, I didn't type in vampires. Transylvanian cousin of the British. Look at that. Look at the crows I was talking about. The crows. The crows. The crows. Blue and crows. Blue and crows. Ooh. Oh. Ooh, look. Blue and that bird. The blue and that bird. Uh-huh. Look at the cousins. Look at the family. Another crest like that. Oh dear, kind of like that one too. Blue, red, black, white, a knight, a crown. Hmm. You guys can let the gossip channels debate over dropping the Epstein files and who's on them and who's not. Vampires are at the top of the black market. I don't care about all the other stuff. I like to get to the apex, the root, and then let everybody else discuss all the details. Vampires, hopes and fears. Hope and fear is a loss of whatever blood and bodily fluid they need to sustain themselves. Advice, external hopes and fears. Outcome. More blackbirds from these people. From the queen in the past, a monarchy, to the page in reverse and the outcome. They will die out. But I'm speaking about the trafficking itself. Because these people will die out, the need for children will die out. What's being trafficked and traded will change. What's valuable on the black market will change. Children were mostly being trafficked to these people, to these vampires, for those reasons. But they're dying out. The queen is gone. Catch that. The queen is gone, and so many other ancient royals that we know of and don't know of are already gone or at the age of no longer being able to fulfill themselves out of this chemical and live. Their time is up. And in my opinion, the United States involvement will decrease as it relates to children, because in a new world, in a new age, different things are valued. And these new rich tech robot guys, they don't need babies in blood. They need consciousness. And it's easier to acquire. It's easier to acquire. People will give you their consciousness willingly. You see, the old gods, the vampires and the cannibals and all of those, they needed biological material to thrive. The new era of hybrid species, the goal for all of them is to live. These ones don't live off of blood and baby juice alone. They found the key is consciousness. So they've understood the idea of reincarnation. Instead of just living forever on this world, they want to live on, reincarnate. They don't want their consciousness to die because they don't have souls. So this is it for them. Whatever life they have, it's it. They found that the body dies. See, the vampires, they weren't thinking about it consciously. They were thinking about living forever. These new age, they understand that living forever means being able to take your consciousness with you, your subconscious with you. So that's what they're after. It's a new version of the fountain of youth that they're after. Consciousness. So you have the rise in things like AI, the internet, media platforms, the digital era of the world. Because then your consciousness can be harnessed in that way. And they feel like if they learn enough from the consciousness about how the consciousness comes back, leaves, comes back, leave, and comes back, they'll be able to take that information and leave this planet and go to wherever in the universe they would like to go, like our souls do. If they can get off of this planet, then they won't have to worry about dying. They can evade death because this is a death planet. So if they figure out how to do it here, then they can go anywhere and not have to worry about a death element. Absolutely. And in my opinion, that is why the United States has pulled back, in my opinion. Because the United States now has been run and overrun by a lot of tech billionaires. You got Trump brought to you and sponsored by the Elons of the world and the corporations of the world and things like that. Hmm. JD asked how we how do we stop them? That would be it would require a major mental shift on the collective first. His family has always been involved with them. Either his grandfather or his uncle, I can't remember, was one of the ones who went in and took all the Nikola Tesla stuff after his death. It was Tiara who said that? Yeah, it was. The collective will not stop anything. However, because these people are in the shadows, what y'all gonna do to the people in Romania, in the castles? Tell me, tell me what the collective is going to do to the vampires when, if it is storming outside and your boss tells you you can't take the day off, even if it's not safe to come to work, we expect you here, you're going to make it. I've seen women push out babies and go back to work the next day because they scared to lose their job where they can't afford to. The fuck y'all gonna do? Not saying you, Tierra. I just mean the general public. When the public says things like, release the Epstein files for what? So that y'all can have tea. That's what the general public wants it for, is so that they can talk about it and have something important that they feel like they're involved in for a moment. I ain't seen the general public do too much of nothing. So, um, however, that's what I meant. It would have to be a shift in the collective consciousness first, so that people wouldn't feel or wouldn't have the audacity to do certain things so lackadaisically, because they know ain't nobody gonna do shit. So let me see the outcome. It's like a war between the old guard and the new guard. America sold out on the old guard for the new guard for money, like they always do. Tech billionaires came and they said, "How much you talking?" They need to let us know when the United States is on the auction block, on the foreclosure auction, so we can put our bid in. God damn, we the citizens would like to know when y'all putting America on the auction block so we can all collectively put our dollar in and win. Y'all always secretly putting it up on the auction. Mm-mm. Give the American people the chance to purchase themselves. No, seriously. Where do y'all even post us up? Governmentauction.com? Auctionthemasses.com? Nationauction.com? Like, where is that a black market activity too? Child. Insider trading. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's what Congress is for. We get traded all the time in Congress. Child. The Hangman, Page of Swords in reverse. Yeah, this is the United States slowly but surely leaving them out to dry. The US wants to transition out of being heavily involved in that. The US feels like if they're going to be cruel and unusual, like it has to make sense for them. And even the US, I'll say with the new administration. The old governments, no, I think they was down exactly for it all. The new administration, though, they're more business oriented, to be honest. And again, they're not the same breed as the old guard, the vampires who needed this stuff. They've, evolved into technology. So, sacrifices, strength. Also, as the people continue to wake up, even in a sheep version of waking up, that does help. It does help because like I said, certain things aren't anymore. Like certain things can go on unnoticed wholly, which makes it a little bit difficult as far as it relates to the shipment of children, because I see that still goes on. I still believe that we export. The problem with the US is that the US is already dead. It's already dead, which is why it's operating like a hoe, a prostitute right now. And I imagine Trump is trying to revive it, which is why he doesn't mind cleaning out the old house and trying to have some form of a spiritual renewal. a religious renewal. This is the soulless people's way of responding to a mass awakening. This is them trying to awaken too, even though they don't have souls like that. So the awakening isn't genuine for them. They see everybody else on a woke era. So now they understand it's time to add some level of religion or faith or higher belief, a belief in some form of morality, some form of virtue, kind of to mitigate and control the awakening, the natural awakening. So they do that by religion, because that's not a spiritual movement, that's a political one, and politics. So going after the bad guys, cleaning up the industry from the bad guys, putting Jesus back in the mix. That's their way of mimicking a real spiritual movement, but so that they can kind of figure out how to get a hold or ahead of it while it's taking a new form. Because of this new spiritual awakening, every other system is going to crumble, slowly but surely, including trafficking. It'll still go on, but in mass like it used to, like it was a foundation of our economy here. That is going to take a shift because the focus for the elites now is going to be consciousness and using that as a way to evade death. At the end of the day, it's all about evading death. Because for them, this is waiting justice, so they evade it and try to stay here and trap everybody with them. Because if everybody is on a low frequency and believes in the beast system, then they will always have a reason to be here. If humanity evolved out of their scope of what they can even pretend to do, they wouldn't even find any, they wouldn't need to stay here. So their purpose, their whole purpose and identity is wrapped up in being on this planet and having somebody to control, because we all can evolve out of Earth experiences. So we can evolve out of needing to come back to Earth. We don't have to be here. They want to go to Mars, we could do that. We can go to maybe not Mars, but there are other life supporting planets in the universe besides this one. We can go. They can't. And what fun is it staying on this earth if you don't have anybody to, control, or, you need people to get an experience out of. Excuse me. Oh, I feel like I am about to flash out. I have on shorts, but they little. So I got to pick the devil up off the floor. Ugh. And I still might have, did I? I still might have flashed y'all, but I wasn't trying to. Imagine if every human being evolved out of coming to Earth, but that's all. That's all that they had. Because if they die, they perish. They get judged. They get tormented. The lake of fire was created for them, if there ever was one. So imagine that waiting for them on the other side. I'm sorry, I think I dropped something else, but I didn't. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you want to stay here forever and live forever? Some of you guys want to do that just so you can maybe luck out on the American dream that they promised, even though you probably never will. Vampires. I'm going to put this out. I'm going to pull this out again because this is telling me that it still happens. Oh, and that Three of Wands. I want to look into the cargo shipments as well. Here. All right, I'm going to look at these. The world in the present position tells me it still happens. So any town with major ports, any state with major ports like the one I live in. And I done already told y'all about how Disney gets down here in Florida. I done already told y'all that. So don't think I ain't been exposing shit. And Florida is a major port town. So yes, I'm positive this is one of the major hubs of it. And because I am a lifelong Floridian for my entire life, I have been turning on the news and seeing human trafficking rings involving Disney goddamn employees. It's either Disney employees or teachers, school board employees, janitors, stuff like that. And most of the time, it be all of them. So you'll have a whole ring. Polk County is good for busting that stuff. Seminole County, Orange County, all of those central Florida counties. That seems to be where a base is in central Florida. And I live in central Florida. So I'm telling you, for my life, I've been turning on the TV, and Disney is always having employees involved in every human trafficking ring bust that I've seen while living in Florida. Disney employees were involved in every last one. It is always going to be a Disney employee or several in a human trafficking ring. I showed you guys the last one that came up here on this channel. And yes, there was Disney employees in there too. And to be fair, a lot of them, the people who they bust, are undocumented. So it's not just child trafficking that they do. They bust a lot of human trafficking, and all of them usually are undocumented people. Y'all going to Florida Disney next month? Y'all be fine. I've been there too. Y'all will be fine because you guys are tourists and you're black. But I believe it's mostly undocumented people that they're doing that with. Because Florida don't have a whole bunch of, not that I know of, unsolved missing kids coming up. Not unless they're the kind of kids that we wouldn't know to be missing because they're undocumented. And this is Florida, okay? So Florida, Texas, those are two places where you can probably, it'll make sense to see undocumented people there. We right on the water. So anybody can come here on a boat. And for the longest, that's exactly what they was doing, coming here on them boats. And we literally turn the other cheek, turn the other way. You could literally go be at the beach and see bitches docking. And you just go on about your business. Because they're going to be your co-workers next month. The world card. Trump, being a Floridian, is aware of that too. I don't know what him trying to build a wall for what's going to do when it's the ports. At least it is now. So maybe they used to funnel through, the border, and the wall might have helped, possibly. The world card. For spring break for the kids. Okay. Have fun in Orlando. I hate Orlando. It's boring to me, but I'm a Floridian. I actually might pop up. Me and my cousins were just talking about going back to the restaurant we took my mom for Valentine's Day, and then going to Aquatica, like a little adult day at Aquatica, get some drinks in our Stanley cups and get on the lazy river. It's literally what we were talking about doing. We ain't doing no slides and stuff like that. We grown, but we'll do a lazy river and a cocktail. Sure will. Float right on. All right. Behind the world card, it's still going on. Who is this Queen of Pentacles here? Looks like a lady. Looks like a lady might coordinate a lot of this stuff right now. A lady. A lady. Cargo ships. Cargo, specifically cargo containers, cargo ships, oil ships, things like that. I don't think it's Giselle. I don't think it's Giselle. Giselle is a part of the old guard. Giselle is too hot. Mm-mm. And I know exactly who it is. I ain't even gonna say it. Let me clarify that Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Wands in reverse. I know exactly who it is. Magician in reverse. Knight of Cups. I know exactly who that woman is. And y'all do too. A new one? No. She ain't new. She ain't new to shit. This a OG. This a OG. A OG. I ain't gonna tell y'all though. Y'all can guess it if you want. I ain't gonna say it. I almost knew exactly who it was when I flipped that bitch. Ironically, it came up as a... And this woman, this isn't her sign. So that's not her birth sign, the Queen of Pentacles. But she like is a big bulk of the business right now. Something about oil containers or oil ships, trading, oil trading. There she is. This woman, in my opinion, this woman is HRC. HRC. Those are the initials of her full government name, in my opinion, of who this woman is, who is in charge of the girls right now, unfortunately. Moving along. This woman would be living a life that is unassuming now, although at some point this woman was on everybody's lips and names. Ask Haiti about this lady. Ask Haiti about this lady and her husband and see what they got to say. As a matter of fact, y'all was just talking about this lady on the news. And so was the president. Nevertheless, I'm sorry, but I still see that strike situation here. And I think, yes, I'm sorry, but I think the strike got the real complaint that some of these workers were having got overshadowed by another issue. They said it was negotiations for contracts, but I think once these men start coming up with things that they were concerned about, the higher ups, including the labor force and the union, because never trust the union. I was a part of the union and I learned a valuable lesson, which ended in an EEOC lawsuit. Um, they found a way to hijack that movement so that if it, it's like if people find out that they are complaining or might be going on strike, let's the union heads will say sit down with the company because they always on their side and say, okay, we'll go on strike due to a contract negotiation. It'll be a big thing and then we'll settle it. That'll drown out the noise from their real complaints that they're bringing. I would love, I'd love to know a a port worker, but I don't think I know any. Anyways, I've been telling y'all all the dramatics are always for nothing. Nothing. But I think he was calling her bluff because they sit back and be like, oh, Trump this, Trump that. And I think he was like, all right, how about y'all get that hoe on the main line? Because y'all don't forgot all about a situation that person was in and it was real sticky. It's why they weren't a viable, it's why they couldn't become president. It's because they is dirty as fuck. You can't have a mob boss. They said the mob boss is supposed to be the shadow president. They ain't never supposed to be the face of the operation because they do the most dirt. Child. But you can't tell a Scorpio nothing. I'll let y'all catch that if you wise, like Liv. Liv, stay on it. I love Liv. I love Liv because her mind can keep up with mine. I love it. I can almost say two syllables and Liv go clock it. That's how I know you're gonna be good at your job. You know how to read between the lines, and that's where the real legalese is. Between the lines. Anybody can read a book, but everybody can't read the invisible, inferred statements and comments being made. But you can, and I dig it. I like it. Okay? There's a hearing later this week to Leo. Leo. Leo said, HRC Scorpio. President. Leo said, oh, I know who it is. Are you a girl or a guy? Listen, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't ruin it for me telling me if you're a girl or a guy. I like to just pretend because the name Leo Fire sounds so masculine. But in my mind, the other night, I was like, but that could be a woman. And I was like, you know what? I never even considered it might be a woman. It's not like the name is Leo James, Leo James John the Third. But then I was just like, well, how about you find out? But I don't want to. I don't want to. You got this dark thing as your profile picture, so you're all mysterious. I just want to, I want you to surprise me. Keep not telling me what you are. Girl, boy, I don't care. You're a lion for all I care. That sounded like Simba when he first tried to roar. You're a real lion. You're a big dog, okay? A big kitty. Well, what movie was that? I'm a big brave dog. I'm a big brave dog. I'm a big brave dog. I can't remember. Anyways, trafficking, at least from its major exporter, it will eventually start to die out, at least from its major exporter's perspective, because there are new kids in town and they don't care about blood and adrenochrome and guts and stuff. They like wires and resistors and circuit boards and data centers and analytics and numbers and things like that. Silicon Valley and all of that. That's where the new guard is coming to a handheld near you. So at least for the sake of the children, once the vampires are finally now spirit the Ace of Cups, that's what it was. I get so caught up in my own rapture. What did I do with it? What did I ever do? Okay. What was the Three of Cups in reverse? Because that's what gave me vampires. That's what gave me Transylvanian British monarchy. All them vampires. What was the Ace of Cups in reverse? A hearing next week, huh? What was the Ace of Cups in reverse and the hopes and fears? In them castles. Ain't that a castle cathedral? This actually is. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. That's what it is. And it's like when they're shipping and stuff, the black market, it's all for the elite. And I mean, not to say that there aren't hierarchies of people in there. Some of them are in there for themselves, some are merchants, some are weird. But in my opinion, and I've said this before in another reading, the black market itself was created to funnel to those people at the apex, the unnamed, the no face, no case people. You won't even, like, we can Google that the British monarchies are cousins of the Romanian monarchy, but have you ever seen any Romanian monarchs in the tabloids? No, no. We wouldn't know who the fuck they were if they sat on our lap like Santa Claus. And we probably would because they'd be so pale and frail. You would literally be able to see through their skin. And members, intercourse members, remember what I told y'all? What they used to look like back in the day of our early human ancestors. When I channeled that spirit, whose ancestor was it? It was one of y'all. It was in the inner courts. It was on the day of the eclipse, and I just so happened to freestyle and be like, "Fuck it, all y'all. I'm finna pull cards for all y'all." It it wasn't one of ones, and it wasn't Liv. It wasn't your ancestors, Liv. Your ancestors said, "Welcome back." It was somebody else's who said we are older, and they were saying they didn't need to explain their beliefs. So, because somebody asked what their religion or if they believed in Sissy's ancestors, it sure was because I. That's how I had to say Sissy name. The power of Sissy's name compelled me. It was Sissy's ancestors. Thank you, Liv. Thank you. Okay. It was Sissy's African ass ancestors. They were the ones who said back in their day, they looked different. She said, they said that they were so pale that you could see all of their organs through their skin, like they were transparent. I imagine within breeding with the blacks, they've gotten some melanin, or, ages under the sun, they've acquired some, but that spirit said yep, big brain, very hot, small hearts, and translucent. Yep. And I mean, let me just Google one of them murasukas. Let's see. Prince Andrew. Let's just see what Prince Andrew. No, what they say. Whose cousin did they say was it? Transylvania cousin of the British. All King Charles III. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of King Charles. King Charles III. Ghastly. It startled me. I was frightened. Oh, help, help. Visionary murder. They're attempting to murder me through images. Why did they bring up a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, a dog? Why is the dog cuter? Oh my goodness. Why is the dog cuter than. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't know King Charles had a cousin that's a dog. Look, I typed in King Charles. They gave me that at top and then that at the bottom. How adorable. Look at it. Uh-uh. Look at it. No. Look at him. Ah. They didn't give me King Charles III. Let me type in the third. They just gave me any old King Charles. King Charles Spaniel. Let me find out. I'm finna get one of those dogs just so I can talk to it like this. I'm gonna get me a King Charles Spaniel and name it Diana. Princess Diana Blocker. I used to have a dog. Her name was Royal T. Butler. So, yes, Princess Diana Blocker. I'm good for it. I'm going to get me a King Spaniel and name it Princess Diana. Yes. All right, King Charles III. Let us see your wide head. It's not huge, not hugely humongous, but look at it. Look up, Marlon. Say cheese. He just looked like he's wearing the Emperor's new clothes. None of this looks like it fits your aura. It doesn't belong. Look at this. Man, y'all playing in people clothes. Y'all playing dress up in people clothes, and I don't like it. Ooh. Look up his dad, Prince Philip. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm frightened. Help. Okay. Prince Philip. See, Liv, you over there in Britain, so you giving me oh. Oh, oh my God, Liv, I should block the fuck out of you. Oh, 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 oh. I think we looked at him before when we was doing Reclaiming Revelation. Oh my fucking God. Bitch, Mr. Burns, hold on. Wait, it gets worse. Bitch, who took a fume pitch? Who took, you know how rude it is to take a picture of the body? You know how rude it is to take a picture of the body? Y'all ain't even let it go. Y'all ain't even let them close his, let me just, because I know he ain't here. That's a dead person, right? I'm trying to close his eyes, but they strong. Child. I tried to respect him and close it for him. Oh my God. Ghastly is the best word to describe Prince Philip. It's just like if you keep scrolling, how does it get worse? What kind of assault and battery on pupils is this? Why would Google do that? Why would I ain't gonna be right for a whole long time. I ain't right. I ain't gonna be right. I ain't gonna be right again after this. I ain't gonna never be the same. I ain't gonna never be the same after this. After what I just went through. I ain't gonna never be the same. I ain't gonna never be the same. I ain't gonna never be the same. I feel like I belong in an asylum. I just feel like rocking and saying, I ain't gonna never be the same. I ain't gonna never be the same. I ain't gonna never be the same. Okay. The Ace of Cups in reverse. I was talking about the pale people who you used to be able to see right. Child, why is this picture still here of him? Oh my God. Let me do it one more time. So y'all just look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Now, inner courts members, sissy ancestors said back in their day, they had transparent skin, large head or large brains, and very small hearts. Sissy, your ancestors, remember, they said back in the day, the people that invaded them or the species that invaded them were almost transparent. They were white. You can see through their skin. And they said that they had very large brains, very small hearts. And Liv said, let me show you what they look like. And I said, And she said, look. And I said, okay. And then this is where we are. Look at that. The better to bite you with, my dearie. It looked like if he was to bite down on your arm. Oh my God. You know how in them zombie movies, when they bite down on you real quick and they take a whole chunk of you out, his teeth look so sharp and zombie like. Child. That's what my spirits told me about the vampires. I said, talk to me about the Ace of Cups in reverse, because that's the card that gave me vampire. And look at them in the castle coming out of the darkness when the fresh shipment come in. Look at them. You got that fresh pack? They came straight out the shadows. Lord. Prince Andrew. Um, this shows me that one of them. I wonder how Prince Andrew's health is. Live. I mean, Sissy, I could tell you missed the first half of the video. You're gonna have to. That's why we even talking about them being vampires. That's why we're even talking about it. It's what the child trafficking is for, to feed them. I wonder if Prince Andrew is sick. I don't think he's that well. Prince Andrew health. I don't think he's that well. They're talking about his mental health. Ex-Prince Andrew scandal taking a toll on King Charles. This is from 4 days ago on Yahoo News. Charles was diagnosed with an undisclosed form of cancer in 2024, and as much as he might have put on a very strong show, it's no secret his... Sissy, you missed it. I literally talked about it before you got in here. I tried to shut his eyes for him because he was passed away in that picture, but the whole family going through it, they very much are. They need that though. It's out for some reason. They all been going through a shortage. I don't know if it's been since the Epstein files have been a thing. Everybody kind of had to lay low, and even that, whatever they've been doing, it hasn't been enough. Hasn't been enough, and it's probably because the children that they're getting a lot of undocumented children, probably a lot of white children, and you need more of them to make up the amount of good juice that you'll get from a handful of fully black children. They not snatching us like that. And even Africa has been kicking the colonizers out, so that's less of them to funnel that good stuff from Africa. And you know, they're not snatching us in the United States. They can't get away with that. It's not enough to sustain them anymore, and due to the age of technology and exposing, it's been a little bit more risky. So they've been going without, and their health has been failing. Their bones are brittle, in my opinion. Like if you flick one of them in the forehead, the whole head might collapse. And it's the sun. I was going to say they need vitamin D, but then again, I'm thinking in the terms of having sufficient melanin. Because I was thinking their bones are so brittle, they need vitamin D and C. But then again, when you ain't human, what good is a vitamin? They are definitely. So Charles he doesn't have the constitution for this kind of scandal. It's no secret his health is a big concern. The UK hasn't had sun since last year. It's been raining almost every day. Liv, get out. Get out, Liv. How do you survive there? You're a child of the sun. How do you survive? It could be a whole dreary day when the sun is hidden by the clouds, and I swear I be feeling like I have cabin fever. I be going crazy. Mm-mm. The former Duchess of York has left the UK and has checked herself into the Paracelsus Recovery Clinic in Zurich. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, not they all, not they all spread like roaches. You take vitamin D supplements. Oh, okay. All right. Queen of Wands in reverse. Black magic. Black woman, black magic. What are the vampires concerned about black women or something? Black, who is she? Oh. Oh. Trafficking. All right, Spirit. One more card before I move forward. Okay. Okay. That's what I got on trafficking. And that's the why. Thank you, Epstein. Oh, let me ask Epstein. Where is he? Jeffrey Epstein, before you go, thank you for telling me all that you know. Not all that you know. I didn't get, I would be here all day if I tried to do all of that. But where are you? Are you unalived? I should get the death card if you're not here, or the Four of Swords. Where are you, Jeffrey Epstein? They say that you have been unalived. I've asked you before, and I've seen you not unalived. I've seen you very much alive, and I've seen you alive when I called you up. Are you unalived like they said? It's, in my opinion, you're in Israel. I can almost hear some praying in the background, like at a synagogue. Well, I said I wanted the Four of Swords or the Death card. The Nine of Swords would mean he's somewhere, not dead. This person don't look dead. If they kind of stressed out. Now, I don't think that this person is in jail because that's the Eight of Swords. It doesn't always have, the anxiety is being seen, being caught, because it's all dark in this card. So he has to exist in the shadows. And he can't step foot back into the United States. This bed tells me it's probably his ancestral home. I think he's in Israel. And they are dying out because he used to supply them with that good, what is that, melanin? Adrenochrome. Does it have melanin in it? And look at them dying out. Can't get it no more. They used to be able to have it in plentiful. Trump start going after them. The royal kids came here. They live in the U.S. now. So adrenochrome has melanin in it? Okay. All right. Blood and adrenochrome then is what they need. Yeah, Epstein can't come back here, I don't think. Not to the States. And that's because he can't be seen. Nobody can afford to have him seen. Not so much that he's in trouble. Not that kind of trouble, though. I think he is in some kind of trouble with somebody. Melanin is highly sold on the black market. Yep. He ain't dead. I think he's in Israel. Okay. All right. That's what I got for why the children, things like that. Oh, why children specifically? Why children specifically? Jeffrey, purity, purity. They're younger. They've been exposed to less toxicity. Their bodies are operating in its peak, biological makeup, how it's supposed to. It's more pure. Purity. Not enough for a baby, an infant. They need them to be kids because babies, they don't have enough yet. They don't have enough yet. They got to get a little older so they can acquire more. They got to grow so that they can have more, stuff in them to take. Babies don't have enough. They're too small. Why children? It's like pumping oil straight out of the ground, pumping crude oil straight out of the ground with the child, especially a melanin one. But this is melanin. This is fire, life energy. Getting it from a child is like pumping crude oil from the ground. And is there adrenochrome in the heart? There's something about the heart here. When it is prepared fresh, I'll say that. You have to inflict either the pain or the trauma while life is at full force. So, meaning inflicting some form of trauma so that the heart can race, pump a lot of blood, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of whatever other chemical is released throughout the body in heightened moments. Heightened fear, heightened anxiety, heightened euphoria, heightened sensitivities, things like that. It goes everywhere. Trauma, trauma and pain. And they're easier to handle than adults. They're easier to handle. But not just that, they'll take children or adults. They have a preference for children because of the purity. The abuse that they experience is to get the chemical. And not saying that it isn't in the body, but it seems to be more potent at moments of either ecstasy, trauma, or pain. All right. I hope you guys, I don't want to say enjoyed that because I didn't enjoy giving it, which is why I'm not going to do a members live after this. We were going to do a reclaiming history and speak to another president, but actually need to, I need a moment. I need to check in with my spirits on some things. And I need to take another shower to get what I just saw off of me because I do not say everything I see all the time. And I know Tiara asked, what could we do? That's something that I find myself asking after almost every live that I do that has a victim involved in it. And I even started doing this publicly because I felt like that was my way of helping, bringing awareness to situations or aspects of situations that can't readily be seen, um, so that the truth can prevail. That's my way of contributing, but I'm also a woo lady. And behind the scenes, I take on a lot of causes on my own. I really could take credit for some stuff, even stuff that happens publicly, but I like playing the background. I like to be a little unassuming. But things like this, it seems like such a large beast. I too wonder, besides just exposing this, because I'm not a chit chat girl, I want to get to the bottom of it so I can see if there's a problem. And then if it is, I'd be wondering how to solve it. And because my career on YouTube, my time on YouTube has been, I won't say like every other content creator. I don't do the gossip and stuff. I don't do commentary. So I haven't been able to really like do I don't know if everybody else has fun, but like the scenario I told you guys about when I looked into that situation in Buffalo and the woman who contacted me, my time on YouTube, I have to have a thicker skin because, you know, somebody's going to always be upset. And that's just a part of what I've found that I will deal with for what I feel like I'm doing that matters, using my gift in a way where I feel like I can contribute to the greater good in some way. But I also do want to know how I can really get my hands wet with this or dirty with this whole matter. So I'm going to take the rest of the night and tomorrow to strategize a plan of action for community. I did see in the outcome the children will get a break because the old guard will be dying out and it'll be more difficult for them to get their hands on the resources that they need to stay alive. I can do a lot of things, but I would like to take the night to have a different conversations with my spirits and ask how I can not just have to be tormented, but by what I saw and an inability to act in the way that I do as a spiritualist. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. And tomorrow is already my day off of YouTube. So y'all won't see me tomorrow. Nobody will, not the members or anybody. But you guys will see me Wednesday. And oh, nobody even noticed. Nobody notices a lot of things that I predict, and I stopped reminding you guys because then I need a whole separate channel to talk about. But I know some people were upset when I mentioned when I read Cardi B the other night and her tour. Oh no, I was reading the robots and stuff, but I think I did read her. And remember in the hopes and fears position, it was that, and because I remember my visions, this is how I'm able to recall details of readings that I do randomly. She had the Ace of Wands in reverse in her hopes and fears position, and I said her team is going to want some of that Nicki Minaj political algorithm. hmm Because Cardi B's career is attached to Nicki Minaj's. So while Nicki Minaj was known for being the queen of rap, Cardi B can make a career being the parallel to that or trying to compete with that. When Nicki Minaj pivoted into politics, I told you guys, and some people seem to not be able to digest that because people think I be a fan, like y'all are fans. And I stand Adina. I am the celebrity. So There shall be no other God before me. But what I see is what I see. And it always tickles me because people don't fight me down when I say stuff about Nicki Minaj. They just be like, yeah, well, you win some, you lose some. But when I say things about Cardi, it always seems to not go down well. And in my opinion, you guys, the ones that aren't able to take what it's like y'all believe me on everything else until I say something about that. And my thing about that is just like, you guys have to know that stan feelings have no place here. If I see something and it happens to go with the narrative that you hope it will as that person's fan, then all the better for you. If it doesn't, as a fan, I'll probably be like, oh well. Because if I decide to like someone besides just their music, meaning I'm a stan, then that means I chose good, bad, and ugly. And if it's ugly, I'm gonna just look the other way like it didn't happen. I think that's what y'all be doing. I think that's what y'all need to be doing. But I told y'all they were gonna want some of that. Cardi B cannot thrive in music without harnessing energy from the hate of Nicki Minaj. She cannot. She cannot. She cannot. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, this has to be nothing else but them wanting some of that political pie. And here we are today. She into it with Gavin. Wait, oh no, some guy named Alex. That the fit child, it's a whole, I don't know. I don't know everything, but I know when I saw it, I said, now, if I could just go back to that commenter or that person who said something, I remember, because I remember saying, all right, we just watch. In that live, I said, okay, all right, just watch, just wait. Y'all don't have to believe me. Just wait. So that's just one thing I noticed. I don't look for my tea to be clocked because I was born this way. I know what I see and I know what I know. But when I saw that, I said, uh. Yes, arguing with Homeland Security. I was like, anything to get some of that new political juice. Everybody in the world touched on politics since 2020 in the past several years, so it's not special. And to be fair to Cardi's fans, because I know when I speak about Cardi and Nicki Minaj, it gets polarizing. I don't feature her either or her political moves. I don't care about these ladies, and I don't see any of them as being bright in this regard, bright enough to want to be in the arenas that they're in. Nicki Minaj is where she's at because she got shooketh and she ran to Jesus. And you see, Jesus just signed and autographed her Bible. And Cardi B, she has the machine because they invested so much money into it. They gotta ride that shit out now. They gotta ride that shit out now. They put so much money into it. They gotta stick with that. She fell again. Child, child. Humpty Dumpty, I guess, child. I would just cancel my whole dance routine, especially if I'm a rapper and not a dancer. Because I can get up there and rap. I can give y'all bars, but Lord, she need to, it's so big and stank. I don't know why I caught a whiff of that when you said that. In my mind, I saw like somebody with a big, nasty butt and a moo like a house dress, and they walked past and it stank. So I feel like I smelled that when I read it, and I don't like the assault on my senses, you know. Yeah, just the falling thing is weird, but I said, in my opinion, it's because her body is too heavy for her structure between the surgeries and the weight gain of the children and having children, it will reshape your whole entire frame. You know, your pelvic area has spread, your whole body gets readjusted when you have children. Having four back to back and then surgeries in between and then putting on natural weight, my God, I'm surprised she's not doing this whole tour in a bed. Because if I was her, y'all would listen, I'd be laid up with the mic to my mouth like this. Yep. But hey, Dominican Christmas tree hips? JD, where in the Chicago drill scene did you get that? It's the faja? Is that what they used to call the waist trainers? Are those fajas? Yes, that's the faja. My cousin had one after she had lipo. So you're saying the faja is making her pass out, kind of. Okay. All right. All right. I don't know how we got on her body because I literally just wanted to remind you guys about that one thing. And then here we are. We're in a weird place now. This makes me feel uncomfortable because oh God. I tend to think that we all have beautiful attributes about us. I just, so yeah. So, all right. I just wanted to say that one thing, and I didn't mean for you guys to go in on that lady's entire. But yeah, I hope she's all right. Because all it takes is one little trip and stumble off the stage to get a concussion. And then tour's over. So, y'all, yeah, go to bed. JD, smoke one, go to bed. Because you acting real King Von in here. You acting real YN drill scene in here. It's giving dirt. It's giving. It's giving King Von's mom. Nothing more gangster than that. Nothing more thugged out than that. You know, nothing more killer than that. King Von's mom. That's what you're giving. Yep. And the story. What? Durkio. Shout out to Little Dirk. I don't know not one of his songs except for the one that he did with no, I like I like one of Lil Von Dirk's though. I like one of Lil Durk verses. Who is that song with? Is it Kodak? Mad Max. Mad Max with Pluto. And it's another one I like him on. Is it a Kodak song? Oh, who the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? That's how I know I'm sharp. They be like this stuff for Violent Vaughn. That's how I know y'all. That is that one, that one, that one, that one. What? Who is that song? That's one of my. Who won't smoke with us? That one, bitch. That one. Who won't smoke with us? Nardo Wick. That's it. Nardo Wick and Lil Durk. I like that song. I've been liking it for a long time. Cause it ain't a new song. But I've been on that for a long time. I've been on that. I've been on that. Okay. So those are the only really things I know about Dirk. Yes, that Nardo Wick song. and Mad Max. Everything else, I don't know. Uh, 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 uh. Not on Stump is that. Yes, that's. Listen, listen. Nardo wig. Yes, that's it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I got on that. Dirk. Oh, yeah, because JD, she was going in on Cardi B and she was giving real drill scene in Chicago. It was real thugged out. It was real harsh. And I was scared for a moment. And then it reminded his eyeballs scare me. I've said that before. Y'all remember I said his eyes scare me? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. If Lil Durk looked at me, I'm just gonna play dead. Just if I caught him eyeballing me from across the room, just yep. I'm just go ahead and play dead because his eyes tell me that he's plotting, plotting something, plotting something, and I'ma just lay down before he get there. That's what I'm gonna do. His eyes are scary to me, and it's not because they like they are scary. Lil Durk's eyes. Yes, I'm finna Google it. Images. They not ugly. He not ugly, but goddamn, they don't scare y'all. Look at this nigga eyes though, and tell me you're not scared. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Y'all ain't scared. Look, he has scary eyes. Man, look at that shit. If I ain't know no better, I say he was on a bean on that one. Because his eyes was beaming. Look at that one. Man, nah, hell nah. Hell nah. Hell nah. Hell nah. Hell nah. That nigga look at me and nigga grab the strap. That nigga looking. Somebody grab the strap, that nigga looking. Tierra said, why he's so shocked? Just surprised as fuck. It's like every picture somebody caught him off guard and was like, hey, Dirk. Hmm? Every single picture. Hey, Dirk. Hmm? Huh? What? Medium ugly. I don't think he's ugly. And his eyes have a pretty brown tint to them. It's just they skin. Now, see this picture of him with his haircut? It's kind of cute in a studly way. You know, in a dykely way. No, he don't even like a dyke. He look cute here. Look. Now he's handsome there. He's handsome right there. Dirk's Sanpaku eyes. Is that what they're called? Sanpaku? What the fuck is that? In my Nardo Wick voice. He just be off drugs? Is that what it is? Okay. I thought so. I thought so because I know somebody beaming when I seen it. Oh, he was young then? So y'all saying he don't age like fine wine. Is that what y'all saying? Is that he don't look good when he not young? Look, y'all done made emojis for his eyes. I'm finna go in a second, but this is killing me. Look, y'all, look what they did to that man. Oh, I know I'm an auntie because I laugh over the funniest, the dumbest stuff. Them drugs done showed their wear and tear. Child, child. Ooh, his eyes. They just everybody pictures so scary today. Why am I so jumpy? Or am I just really seeing these people for who they truly are for the first time? Andrew, Philip, Dirk, everybody is terrifying me today. I know it's time to go to bed. I'm finna roll up and go to bed because everybody is scary. Y'all stay safe. Saturn and Neptune seem to, the monsters came out of the abyss when I let that demon out. But they said they was gonna torment them, not me. Oh, y'all stay safe out there, okay? Y'all stay safe, and I mean that. I mean that in all dirt seriousness. Stay safe. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Stay alert.